So I believe the setup part is now over. Now we are going to start the deployment using the GitLab-CI. So this is the project. So your scaffolding should be like this. So a Magento directory, a directory called Magento, in which you will put your Magento files, and have a gitlab-ci.yaml file, which should look like this. So this is the GitHub actions. So this project and this image. So we are going to pull that. So these variables are mandatory. So these are the bucket commit, the MySQL password and database name on the deployer. So the way the deployer will work is that the Magento, the Docker image will be pulled on your runner. By the way, this is the deployment will be done on GitLab using a self-hosted runner for security reasons, but you can use the public GitLab runners. So the runner, this image will be deployed on the runner. The runner will make the usual stuff, the build and the compilation and the static deployment, and then copy the files onto the production server and the deployment. So there is only 2 steps, so 2 jobs on your pipeline. So we will make a build and deploy. It will build the Magento using this script, because here we have set the where it sits. We have set the process. So here, so yeah, this is a bit messed up, but you can put the variable here or export them here. It's the same thing. So I was playing around with it, so that's why you see this. Maybe I will clean up when I will make this repo public. So you have to specify in this job the build process. So the first time the image will launch, it will launch this entry point, which will take in account the input process. So in input process with the build process. After the build, you launch the deploy project, the deploy section, which will deploy your package. And if the deployment fails, of course, do not forget the cleanup, the cleanup stage. So to summarize, the GitLab-CI will launch this script and the deploy staging script. This one. So now, as you can see, there are some private variables that you have to set on your GitLab-CI, which we will be doing now. So you have to go to CI, cd, and here in the variables, here are the variables you have to set. So the composer auth, I will not show it because for security reason, but it's detailed here. So it's just your composer authentication informations for your Magento repo, and if you use other private composer repositories, you can add them here through this variable. So the staging host, we can modify that live. So the staging host will be matchup. That's made it. Yes. And the stage host deploy path, and you have to be very careful that the name matches. So it's the variables here. Where is it? Yeah, so host deploy path, stage host deploy path. The script will need the host deploy path, but you can, I called it here stage deploy path because this is a staging variables. If you want to do staging and production at the same time, you can copy this and make a production, but you have to be very careful to put the right variable and the right name here. This should stay the same in order for the script to work. So this is good, I believe. That these are the directories we have created here. Yeah, it matches. So this is the deployment path. It's okay, and the SSH config here. The host is staging. That should stay staging. The user is the SSH user, so that one is admin, and the host name is now matchup, and the port is 22. If you use different ports for SSH, you have to specify that here, of course. So the stage user is admin as well, and the private key is the private key we generated with the SSH keygen. So temp SSH. So now you have to copy this in here. Okay, because the runner will use this to connect to the server, and it will be successful because we have copied the public key on in the authorized keys earlier. Okay, so I believe we are good to go. So once you have set up these variables, your project is good to go. So when you push the runner should start automatically. Anyways, don't fret, I will make a public, hopefully a public repo, maybe GitLab repo or GitHub repo, in which I will this file will be available. So now that all this is done, let's simulate a push. So then let's modify the README. hopefully everything is okay. In pipelines, you can check the process. So as you can see, the two jobs are one job is pending and the build process have started. So in the meanwhile, I will modify the nginx. I will show you how to modify the nginx in order for the website to work correctly. So now we go to nginx, because earlier we just generate a certificate on the kind of empty web site. I'm trying to copy the local configuration and check that there is nothing compromising here. So this server name is shut-up and it should redirect, of course. Here and so here the modes should be, of course, production, and you have to adjust the merge route, which in our case Magento staging so yeah, this is another specificity. So you have to pick the deploy path and put current. Do not forget that, because there is someone who forgotten it, and you can see his comment here. So yeah, current magento, and we will copy the same thing and redirect to the PHP config. Hopefully in here there is a PHP. Yeah, there is a nginx.conf. I'm not sure I pushed it, so we will use the sample. I forgot to push it, but you can push your nginx.conf if you have modified it. In my case, I believe I did not modify it, so I can directly put sample here. It will be the same that the Magento sample. So those are unnecessary, and here I can copy the right certificates in the right place, and I can get rid of this. So this is the correct nginx configuration. So like I said, do not forget the current. Okay. After that, you save this. Like I forgot to use sudo, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Hopefully. Let's check that. Okay, it has been saved, so let's check that everything is good. They say there is no such file or directory because the deployment has not been done. So you just keep the nginx up and running with the old configuration, and when the deployment is done, we will restart it with this new one. So let's check where the deployment is. Still installing the modules. So because my runner is not a, it's not the big AWS machine. It's just I believe a T2, a small T2 even. I don't know. So that's why the build is slow. If you want to accelerate a bit the stuff for performance reasons, you can, like I said, host your own GitLab runner, and with the sufficient resources, like 8 gigabyte and 4 CPUs, and this will be quicker then. Or you can even use a 2 CPU and give more memory to Composer or PHP. Well, anyway, so we will wait for the build and the deployment to finish. In the meanwhile, maybe I can show you some stuff. So there, if you want to up the security, you can, like I said, host your own runner, and then whitelist the IP. So you have to whitelist the IP on your production server to only allow SSH connection from the runner, for example. So you can create a specific user for that. And as well as on your runner, you have to whitelist the production in order for the two to communicate correctly. What else? So maybe I can show you the runner on GitLab. You can set two kind of self-hosted runners. You can set a runner which will be used by the repository, or a runner which will be used by all the projects in the specific group. Here the group is medit 512, and the self-hosted runner is a group type of runner, so it's available on all the repository projects in this group. So you can see these are the shared runners, so public runners. So you can have security flaws on GitLab, which will result in this, and these are the self-hosted runner. As you can see, it's available group runners. This one is dead, and this one is the one which is being used by the deployer. So that's that. So as well, you can, like I said, this is the video on GitLab-CI, but originally the project is a Magento GitHub action project. So you can use GitHub as well and set a runner, a self-hosted runner on GitHub action as well. But there are more limitations on the GitHub runners, and there are more flaws. You will encounter more errors on the GitHub runners than on GitLab runner, because because the project is older on GitLab side, so they have more experience on issues that you can encounter. The main issues nowadays being that there are some troubles with the runner dumping the Docker, the container between jobs, and the errors I encountered on the GitHub actions were, it's not very stable. Sometimes the runner disconnects from GitHub, from the GitHub action project, and you have to launch it manually. So it's not as stable as a GitLab runner. And of course, also GitLab is free. So if you're hosting your own GitLab, you can host your own runner, and it's cheaper. That's why mainly I made this video, because I had some requests on it. So yeah, GitLab is cheaper, and there is no hard limit. I know that there are limits on the GitHub action, even GitHub action, even when you're using your own runner, there are some limitations regarding the usage, I believe. GitHub limit rates. Yeah, these are the limitation when using GitHub hosted runners. These limits are GitHub hosted runners. So for free, yeah. But I do know that there are limitations as well on the self-hosted runner. Anyways, so the deployment started. So hopefully everything will go right, but now you can see that the build has been done and the deployment started, because now there are more directories. So like I said, I don't know why it failed the first time. They are saying that staging. Current. So as you can see, the deployment, even though it didn't finish successfully, has been done. You have your files here. The issue, they say, is with the ARM file, but I thought that's why I just checked it. So in any case, this is normal. The first time it should, it will fail eventually. It's empty. So what I have done wrong here? My bad. When I copied it, I copied the ARM file in the app directory instead of etc directory. My bad. That big mistake, because I have no wish to restart the build, because it's very, very slow. So in any case, if you have this failure, you just have to populate correctly. The audio and let's just copy it from the that's all. And so here the database is root, and this is matchup. Okay, so normally that's it, and maybe we can restart. Yeah, I will pause the video during the build. I'm just checking that the unlock has been done. Yeah. So okay, so I'm going to restart the build and pause the video, and when it will be done again, I will restart. So let's build it again. Even though the build has been successful and the deployment has been almost successful. So to end the video, as you can see, now we are back from the pause. The deployment has been successful, so the code had been copied to the production, and the database has been updated also. So if everything went all right, you should see this. And also one thing, so I've forgotten before to add the fast CGI to the nginx, because in the nginx sample Magento is using upstream called fast CGI, so I said that I updated the nginx conf during the pause, so you have to add this, and then after a successful deployment, when you make nginx -t, you will see that everything is alright, and you can restart nginx for the configuration to the new configuration with the website to work correctly. By the new, I mean this one. So yes, that's it. What is this? Okay, so everything went all right, and this concludes this video. So the production is up and running, and that's it. So I don't know if I'm gonna publish publicly this one. Surely I'm gonna publish this, and you will find the link in the video description. And also I think I will cut this video into part because it's too long, and maybe the full video with the setup the production server setup, configuration with Docker, PHP, and nginx, and Elasticsearch will be a paid link. I don't know yet. Surely it will be a paid link. The full version will be a paid link, and just the part on the GitLab will be available for free, of course, on the GitHub and YouTube. And either you pay the full version of the video, or you can watch the other video to check out how to set up a server and adapt it to this deployment. So that's it, and have a good day.